Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Table 501 Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm Justin.
I'm Ahmed. I almost said Shane.
No, I'm Shane. I'm Shane. You're Ahmed.
And I'm Shane.
No, we're not doing this again.
Bad list!
Welcome, everybody, to the July 2021 ban list episode.
Bad list.
Wow.
Good list. Not a crazy list, but a good list.
Parts of it are crazy. If you've been on YouTube at all, everyone will tell you that this is like the last Yu-Gi-Oh! Ban list that'll ever exist because the game is now never going to be played again.
Oh, with Engage coming back to one.
Because everyone is gonna play Engage and then Zeus combo and wipe the entire field and then swing for game with Dragoon.
While having Mystic Mine up.
Yeah, while having Mystic Mine up. So.
And resolving Yadagarasu.
Yeah, there you go.
So, what makes you think it was? What makes you think parts of it are crazy, Justin?
I think what makes parts of it crazy is that a lot of this list people didn't see coming. Like actually, I am a Sky Striker player. I didn't think Engage was coming back. No one in their right mind thought Mirage Stalio was coming back.
I was hoping it would.
I don't think anyone was expecting the Trident ban again.
No one was expecting.
Except after the OCG, when people saw it, they got a little worried here. But then we were like, they wouldn't do that.
But like realistically, no one really thought it because people were saying, "Yeah, Mirage Stalio can come back to one." I was like, "Okay, yeah, that's fine. I don't have a problem."
I did not like the Trident ban.
I didn't either. It's like what?
Well, here let's let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's go through the list one by one here.
Yes, it would be a good time to pull up the list, wouldn't it?
I'm doing test hands on the side, so I'm a little distracted when I need to turn to my computer.
If you're listening, you've probably already heard the list, but we can go through it regardless.
Yeah.
So, on the now forbidden, we have Guard Dragon LP.
I mean,
Zodiac
good.
Trident.
Yeah, that not so good.
Weird.
For the limiteds, we have Miscellaneousaurus.
Fuck
Miscellaneousaurus.
Dude, Konami read Misk finally. They finally read it.
We also
finally read the fucking card.
We also
Holy
have
shit.
a limit to Skull Crobat Joker. We've got Striker Dragon limited. We've got Mirage Stalio off the ban to limited. And Engage to limited.
No. It's Engage forbidden, and it was forbidden.
That's right.
My list still says it on the OC website.
I posted the link to the image for the US website, and it says limited. Maybe we're gonna have another split format. Maybe we're gonna have EU versus NA.
Yeah.
And then we've got for the semi-limits, Double Iris Magician, which is kind of cool, and Symbol of Heritage was limited. I don't even know this card, so
I think it has to do with like normal monsters or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it was like an FTK with On Fire Blossom.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Well, we don't need to worry about that anymore.
It's like really inconsistent.
As is almost every other FTK.
That's the list. Do we want to just start by going down?
I was gonna say we should have let's just talk about it from the top. So like the LP ban, I think we're all in agreement.
Ahmed, you have a lot to say about this, so I think
it's not surprising. People have been wanting this card banned for like 2 years. It's not surprising. Dragon Link is still a fine deck. It's doing what it's doing. I don't think it's gonna be as dominant as it has been, but
I give it a week before somebody solves it again.
I mean, it's been solved, and like people have been theorizing without LP for that again like a year because people were expecting it. So like the deck has been solved. It's not super surprising, and I'm personally fine with the ban despite me playing a dragon deck that uses LP. Why are you so okay with that if it was in your deck, Ahmed? I can't believe it. I don't understand. Why can you explain? Yeah,
so
of course.
Can you actually explain it? Because I'm so confused as to why like you are excited. I
It's
thought this was gonna
it's
be like a
it's
bummer
part of
to
the
you.
grieving process, denial. You know.
Oh my god.
Right.
No, I'm actually like fine with it because as I explained before we started recording, it gives me one extra deck spot because I've been playing Pot of Prosperity, and I think that's starting to be pretty standard in like competitive Dragoonity decks. Haha, competitive Dragoonity deck, that's a good one.
Eh.
Well,
But
Dragon Link,
I'm not
Dragoonity
done.
Link might
Not
actually be
done.
good.
Not done. So I just played another Hieratic Seal of Heavenly Spheres in replacement of it. So now I have 2 copies of it. So I banish one, and I still have one in reserve off of Prosperity. And plus, the reason people did play the LP package in Dragoonity at all was to get the Amorphage Goliath Lechery combo in effect. And it was really bricky in testing. Shane can attest to that. Him and I tested a fuck ton in the last month, and I just bricked so many times playing that stupid package. So I switched to the Dragon Buster Destruction Sword, A, because it was less bricky, B, because of the imminent LP ban, and it was all for the best. So I'm totally fine with it because now I have a free extra deck slot, and the best deck of the format for the last. Well, I guess it wavered, I guess, sometimes, but one of the best decks, if not the best deck at certain times, is now not the best deck. So I'm fine with LP being banned. It's totally cool, and it shakes the deck up a little bit. And we all expected it. No one was surprised. We're like, cool, finally. It was
Yeah,
like,
it was like a breath
it
of
was like when
relief.
Engage got banned the first time, or Colossus got banned, or Firewall got banned. I wasn't playing when Firewall got banned, but we're like, finally, the stupid card that we all wanted gone is now gone.
Yep. Yeah, I have no feelings for or against the Guard Dragon LP ban.
thing
I
is
think it was a long time coming.
Yeah.
Because Dragon Link has been a competent threat for a very long time, and like
And it still is. That's the thing. Like it's still
it's
It's
not.
just more fragile. It's more.
Yeah, it's not as good as it once was, but I would still say it's like a tier 2 or something. Anything with the amount of tools that Dragon has at its fingertips should at least be a tier deck.
until they ban all of it.
Yeah, until they ban every Dragon. Every Dragon.
Blue Eyes is coming to the list next
Yep.
week. But yeah, anyone have anything else to say on Guard Dragon LP?
No, yeah, that
Good
LP is
riddance.
LP.
Let's move down to the more controversial one, Zodiac Trident.
This is a weird one, but I kind of get it.
I kind of get it too, but I'm just sad for pure Zodiac players or like Eldritch Zodiac players. Like,
I don't know that
sorry, your
pure
deck is
Zodiac
dead.
Dragon or pure Zodiac players actually exist. I'll be honest. I don't.
They
No, they
do,
do.
yeah,
They do.
they
They
do.
Pure
It's
Zoo
like
actually
war
topped
crimes.
a couple events here and there.
Yeah,
Well,
it's just war crimes decks though.
It's funny because when you Ahmed, when you sent me the message that was like engaged to 1 and I got really excited, I was like, shit, I'm gonna have to look into Zodiac Striker because that's it's gonna be competent now.
No.
It's like, oh no, it won't.
No, not even a little. Not even a little. But yeah,
I'm totally okay with this because I think that Trident is a really strong card. And
Trident is a pretty balanced card. So once per turn, detach 1, pop 1, right?
it has to be face up though.
It has to be face up.
Ooh.
So it's quite literally ABC Dragon Buster or whatever the fucking it is. Just in Xseed form, you have to go jump through the hoops. The reason why it was banned is because of Zeus. That is the only reason why Trident is on this
list. If you
list.
banned Borbo, that would be because of Zeus.
Which they could have done, but
They could have done.
I think the Trident ban was really stupid.
Yeah.
I don't really have feelings towards or against it as well. Like,
I didn't like playing against Pure Zoo and stuff like that because I mean it was just like hand traps and.
we also have to think like
back.
Pure Zoo wasn't what was topping events. What
But it
was
was though. It wasn't like winning a bunch of events, but it was getting tops
No,
consistently.
But Zodiac variants were what was the problem. Those were what were popping up. It was not Pure Zoo.
No.
Like, what was the other engine? What was the big other engine? Was it Eldritch?
I mean,
Invoke.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's Zodiac
No,
Invoked. Eldritch, right?
Wait, what? No,
No.
that was not a deck. No. I mean,
It was Zoo
I'm
Eldritch
surprised
was
it's
the other
not.
deck.
I'm surprised. Zodiac Eldritch, and then it was mainly those two variants: Zodiac Eldritch, and then Pure Zoo. But then Tri Brigade came around, and then they just abused the hell out of that engine.
But most Tri Brigade like decks now, instead of like going with Zoo or Lear Lusk, it's straight up just pure Zoo or Tri Brigade at this point.
Oh, is it?
For the most part, I think.
After the ban.
Not even after, even before, it was like once they got their support card in Revolt and the card that searches Revolt,
Oh.
they were playing a lot of decks were just pure Tri Brigade.
No, they played one Thorough, one Rat, one. What's the other one? They played a really small like Zoo package.
Oh, they were?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
Well-
what won the LCS this last weekend was Tri-Zoo. And it was like a fucking 50 to 25% of the top cut. I also think I forgot what won the Remote Duel Invitational this last weekend, but it was also like top was Zodiac Tri as well. So it's still there. They played Zodiac cards. A lot of them. That's not true. They didn't play a lot.
I know there's an extravaganza coming up this weekend. I guess we should probably wait and see, because that's still going to be under not the new list, but the previous list, right?
No one's gonna play it though. No one's gonna play the extravaganza because they're gonna be like, oh, it's like I wouldn't play
like maybe
it.
Dragon Link players and
guess.
Zodiac players.
I don't even think like that's just wasted time. Like
Yeah.
now that the ban list is out, like top players are gonna want to be actually playing in the format, not
Which is
past
why
format.
it's so weird that this
Unless
list
there's,
came
like,
out.
thousands of dollars on the line.
Yeah, like I was saying though, which is so weird why this list came out this early, no sooner than July 1st, and it comes out the 20th of June. I don't know. I'm a little salty about that because I didn't get to make my ban list wish list again this year. But at the same time,
It would have been
I don't
bad.
know.
So.
No, it's always bad. Don't worry about it.
But yeah, I don't really have anything else to say on Trident.
Yeah, and that's it. for the
Konami
ban.
experimented. Konami experimented with it. Here we are. They didn't like it.
I'm very interested to see how Tri Brigade moves forward from this.
Can we?
I mean, it's still a competent. What is it? Competent deck, but
Yeah,
there's a lot of vocalizations there.
Yeah. I couldn't tell if you were gonna keep going or.
No, I
not,
just
and
wanted to say
I kept
that
like
No.
But no, I want to talk about literally the best part of the whole list. Like this beats out the card that I'm most excited for.
Konami Red Mist.
The Misk limit. I have to like rub it in your face, Shane, because last podcast I literally like said I think they should limit this card because that's the only fair way to do it. And they did. They did. Now you have to play around having one copy. You can't just draw 2 copies of it and just fuck around like an idiot. You actually have to build it into your combo.
They have to figure out a way to get it with their 3 Fossil Dig, 3 Overraptor, their Archosaurus, their Baby Cerosaurus, their
But you can negate those. You can interact with those cards.
I think the logic here though was okay. So I have all these searchers. Now I have to choose which I have to go into rather than like, cool, I drew my Misk OV. Now I know what to search. Like
exactly.
It forces you to think and make actual decisions rather like, oh cool, I drew unbelievably well because I just played 15 3-ofs and then I just called it a day, you know? So that's what I think. Because if a Dino player is like, I don't have Misk, they can interact with me and they normal summon their Overraptor, and let's say they have like Baby Cerosaurus in their hand. They have to choose, like, do I want the protection or do I need to like combo off? You know, that's what I think the logic was. So,
and I
Dinosaur's still gonna be competent. Dinosaur's still gonna be competent at 1 Misk. Like, they still have a Misk. It's not like it's banned.
Yeah, and not to mention they still have
okay
UCT. They still have Dolka and Logia. They still have scrap combos.
But now they again, like exactly like Ahmed said, they have to think about, do I need to play around my opponent? Can I just like go through my combo? I think that's fair, and I think that's way better than Overraptor, Ash, Misk.
No,
The game's
that's what I'm
over.
saying.
Like the game
I
ends
think it
right
is
there.
healthy.
You scoop at that point.
I'm happy to see it at 1. I wouldn't mind seeing it at 0, but
I wouldn't mind
either.
seeing it at 0, but I think
Me
1
either.
is the fair way to not alienate the dinosaur players. And let me
And
tell you, there's a
I
lot of
actually do
dinosaur players
kind
for
of
some
agree.
fucking reason.
Because it was a
Like-
cheap and easy deck to get.
Yeah.
It's a cheap, good, easy deck to get.
And you
Not
need
Simple
that.
to
too
play.
cheap
You
anymore.
literally need that. You cannot have a card game without decks like that.
Yeah.
Like you can't have all your decks being $600 to $800.
No.
Like
I mean,
Well,
Shadal.
Danger Thunder in its prime, back in toss format.
oh my god.
$2,000 deck.
Yup.
It was $2,000.
Danger Thunder was
It
$2,000.
was $2,000. Shane Hector Albrecht.
God damn it, that's not my middle name.
We're doxing him.
That's not actually Shane's middle name. Don't go look him up. But,
Like, there's some poor guy named Shane Hector Albrecht's gonna get fucking bombarded with hate now.
he's like, bro, wait, was Danger Thunder actually 2,000?
Oh my god.
Like, no, it was. The deck was insane. Anyway, we're not talking about 2019 format right now.
Not yet.
Good, but not yet. Oh, actually, we'll get there.
Stop.
But anyway, yeah, I agree. There needs to be some accessible decks, and I mean, Dinosaur has been in the limelight for 4 years. For 4 years, and people just got sick of it. I got sick of it.
And well, the thing is with Yu-Gi-Oh, that is a really hard thing to balance around because Yu-Gi-Oh is so unique to all other card games because they don't have a format that's
Rotating, yeah.
they don't have a set rotation.
Which
And so
I love.
Oh, we have set rotation.
I love it. Exactly.
Shane.
I love it. Yeah, Shane, shut the fuck up. I love that, but it also, I think people forget that means that good decks will be around for a while because unless they completely gut them on the list, like those cards aren't going anywhere. They're not being rotated out. And I think there's always a lot of confusion around that where like people are like, oh, I want to see new decks top, but also I don't want my favorite decks to like fall out of favor entirely. Like you always want your favorite deck to be on the cusp of like competent at least. And yeah, I think banning Misk would have just been a bad decision.
Half the player base would have stopped playing.
Well, all the player base is gonna stop playing next week, so
That's true.
that's right. July 1st is that when this goes into effect?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
the
July
death of Yu-Gi-Oh.
1st, reminder to sell all your cards before then because there will be no more events.
Yu-Gi-Oh's
The
over.
game's over. Yu-Gi-Oh
Yu-Gi-Oh's
solved.
Yeah,
Engage is
Yu-Gi-Oh
at
solved.
1. You cannot play Yu-Gi-Oh anymore.
Mr. Konami's canceled. He said some bad things.
Engage will be activated and it will overlay itself into Zeus.
Yep.
And then VFD on top of
Oh
Zeus.
my god.
But both effects are
Yeah.
still activated.
Okay, let's move on. Okay, Skull Acrobat Joker, it's fine.
I think it's cool actually. I like seeing that Pendulum's getting more of their cards back.
I
because-
wish. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Keep going. No, you said because. Go. Continue.
No, I think that this is another deck like what we were talking about with Dinosaur, where the deck is pretty affordable, and once you figure it out, like it does a lot of stuff. It's really hard to
very
learn the
hard.
deck,
I
but
looked
it's
hard.
like the structure deck made it way more accessible, and I think they have taken a few too many hits without getting anything back. So I think this is good. I think this is good that we're seeing like Double Iris come back and Skull Crobat Joker, and it just gives the deck more stuff to do.
Yeah. Also, full disclaimer: none of us played during Pepe format, which, granted, it was only a 2-week-long format. But first off, I think most of it's power crept. Pepe in the current
that's what
game
I'm
state is
saying,
probably
too.
pretty power crept, especially at its current level. Like we have 1 Joker, 2 Iris. We don't even have Astrograph. But yeah, I think they can slowly start peeling off some of these these Pepe cards from. I don't remember what year it was. Maybe 2015 that Pepe was a thing, but I don't know. I don't know.
I legitimately think that every list that is either a pendulum card or specifies pendulum card in the card text that is currently still on the list can come back to 1. And I still
I
think
don't-
pendulum would not be that like a huge threat.
I don't know about that. I think that there are a couple cards on this list that could still enable some fuckery.
And I know that card is Electromite, and I still think that card can come back to 1.
I think right now I think Electromite can come back at 1. Like for sure.
It's strong. It's very strong. But I mean,
Just make
Pendulum,
put it at 1.
Pendulum's
Put it at
chilling down there with War Rock and like the meme deck ruins.
Okay, it's not
like,
that bad.
It kind of is.
Yeah,
sorta.
I honestly think Masterpiece just needs to be at 3 again. Like,
Wait,
Okay,
does
real
Masterpiece
talk. I think
specify Pendulum?
Masterpiece could come back to 1.
No,
Right now, I
Masterpiece
think
cannot.
Masterpiece can come back to 1. Absolutely.
No,
I
it
absolutely
cannot.
think it could. Absolutely think it could. I used to not think it could, and then I was like, wait, I'm better than I think I am. And then I'm like, yeah, it can go back to 1.
So it'll tribute a monster and a trap, and then be
I should
susceptible to
not
spells.
have said
like-
anything.
Yeah, no, I still don't.
Shane
think
just doesn't like
Okay.
towers. Shane just doesn't
not
like
unless I'm
towers.
putting one up.
Shane doesn't like decks
Shut
that he's
up,
lost
Shane.
once.
Oh my god.
Shane, I love you.
Like-
Shane, I love you.
First off, no one's gonna be playing Draco, like diagrams at 1. Like, are you kidding me? You're not. Okay, whatever. Let's just keep talking about the ban list. Okay. Striker Dragon to 1. Sorry, Rocket players. Sorry. What is his name? Revolver cosplayers. Like, I'm sorry, guys. You guys didn't deserve that, but Dragon Link did that to you. It's okay. You guys still have 1. But I think this was obviously a hit to Dragon Link. Just to
Oh yeah.
really, if they don't kill you, that they can't have anything on the blowback in case like you live through their turn. So
Yeah.
it's it was like a decent hit. I didn't like go crazy when I saw it, but I'm like, yeah, okay, that's fine.
I think Striker Dragon being hit and what's his face being hit, LP. I think that's a really good double hit because I think if you just do one or the other, the deck doesn't change much and it can just still kind of go off. Hitting both of them just kind of bring Dragon Link down to a bit more manageable levels.
Yeah, but that's the thing with Dragon. Like, they have all these tools at their disposal. I genuinely do think they'll find a way to become not as good as they were, but still a competent threat. Not to say that they aren't already. I don't know. I feel like they should have done like maybe one more like semi-limit or something for this deck. Of like quick launch or something.
Yeah, I could. Yeah. I could see that.
If they really wanted people to stop playing Dragon.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think like a semi-limit. It'd be like a nice little like slap on the wrist.
Yeah.
Yeah. By Striker Dragon. Rochdalio is now at 1. I think that's fine.
Yeah, I would like to talk about that though.
I think that's okay.
I really like that. I really think that I don't think Salad is that bad of a deck to be in the meta. It's a popular, again, affordable control deck. Now it's affordable. It used to be a little bit expensive because of the Synets.
Oh yeah.
Like Synet mining used to be
like $40.
Yeah.
Which was actually not horrible because it was overprinted. It wasn't a short print, it was an overprint.
But yeah, I think this card coming back is really good because I, being a control player, think that you need a really good balance of control and combo decks. And I think Salamangrates is a good like
Well, Salamangrate is kind of like a combo deck. It's kind of like my deck where like Masquerades is a combo deck and then sets a couple cards and passes.
Exactly. I think those are good.
Good take, Shane. Good take.
It's mid-ranged.
It is. See, that's what people call it, is mid-range.
Who's people, Shane?
People like that was the term for the deck in MTG. That's I've heard other people.
Don't ever
Am
say those 3 letters again.
Am I
I'm
playing
just
MTG anymore? Ever? Have I ever played it?
I'm just saying that it is an archetype of deck or deck type.
I know what you mean though. I know if you say mid, I'm like, I get it.
Shane be smoking that mid. um. Anyway.
Okay. Here's a take. Since I don't know. I've heard that the player base is like hasn't been growing as much recently, especially because there haven't been many events. Because Salamangreat is like the deck to go to if you are learning this game in the current form. If you're learning modern Yu-Gi-Oh, Salamangreat, it's simple, it's good, and it's cheap. It is simple, good, and cheap.
Your cards won't be shiny, but they'll be cards.
Oh, they'll be shiny. Some of them will be. Some of them will be. Most of them will be. But take it or bringing Mirage Stallion back to 1. I think was like a logical hit, or not hit, but unhit, because I think Salamangreat's in like a fine spot. It wasn't doing anything last format, and I don't think Mirage Stallion to 1 is going to do much either. It'll bring it maybe back to like consistent Rogue, but that's it. But anyway, my take. Since events are probably going to start coming back soon, and because of the less than ideal growth in player base, maybe Konami brought Mirage Stallion back to 1 so that new players would be like, oh yeah, this is a really strong deck, and they can do all these fun combos and summon a fire Salamangreat monster from your deck and blah blah blah. But that's just my theory. It's just a little conspiracy theory.
That's a nice
Yeah,
little
if they release the Soul Burner structure deck, then I'll believe it. That'd be really, really good on them to do though. Like take Mirage Stallion off the list and then just re-release the Soul Burner structure.
Yeah,
deck.
like an unlimited run. Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be smart.
I don't know. My thoughts on Salamangreat is it's a good deck, but to me it just seems really boring to play.
It's so boring. Oh my god, I hate Salad. It's so boring. I cannot stand the deck. Like genuinely cannot stand the deck. But like it's good for what it is.
So I hate the deck with a dying passion, but it's good.
Yeah, I mean, I can acknowledge that. It's really not entertaining to watch. It's not entertaining to play, but it says, hey, this is what I can do. I'm going to give that to you. Now play me. That's it. It's very upfront with what it does. It's very upfront with what it does. And it's a fair deck.
Yeah. All right. Do we want to talk about
realistically, it's a Nibiru token turbo, but anyway.
See, somebody made a point saying like they might not even be playing around Nibiru anymore because we're going to be going into a slower format. A lot of people have been taking Nibiru out of their mains. I know I have.
I was maining it.
I was maining it.
You were maining it.
I'm really sorry to hear that, Shay.
No,
I 100% thought we were going to a combo meta. I mean, the top decks are all combo, but then like tier 2 right now is full of control decks.
It's true. Okay, next up, we have...
Justin, do you want to talk about this one?
Let me go to it. Spell, Sky Striker, Mobilize, Engage. Limited was forbidden. I could not be happier as a striker player. Like, I have so much I could say about it, but the more I say, the more Shane is just like boiling.
I'm not boiling. We're in agreement that it's strong and it's not as strong, but it's not as strong as a lot of people are making it out to be.
Yeah.
But to pretend that it's a non-issue is also just as wrong.
I don't think it's an issue. I don't
genuinely think it is an issue.
Here we go.
So I don't see how at 1 it can be an issue. The reason it was banned was because it was splashable in every deck. Every deck could play Sky Striker package and Pot of Greed their deck. At 1, you have to commit to playing an engine. You can't run a package, you have to run the engine. This isn't Blue Boy, this isn't the Toon Cyber Dragon package. This is, you have to run a bunch of cards and hope you see it.
I mean, I kind of get it.
You can't run something like Dragon Link with 6 striker cards that draw your entire deck for you. You have to play striker something, and I don't think that those decks are bad. I don't think that formats where we have stuff like Zoo Eldritch and other like fucking invoked anything, I don't think those are terrible, because I think those decks are balanced around being small engines that you can use. I mean, your deck is literally train engine and then a bunch of other cards.
No, my deck's a whole. It's honestly the engine that's the biggest is definitely Infinite Track. Either way,
that's what I meant. Not train.
Synergize a lot. They synergize a lot.
Yeah.
yeah. But it's all pretty much the same. My only thing with Engage, the reason why I think it's strong isn't because it in
It
and
is
of
strong.
itself, it is a strong card,
No
but it's
one's
not like
saying it's
an
not.
overpowering card. In Striker though, you're going to get Engage, use Engage, recycle Engage. Now, every turn you now have a recurring +2 in addition to your normal
It's not
draw.
a +2.
It's not a +2. It's a +1.
Well, okay, if
Or
you're
+1.
counting your draw, sure, it's a +2.
Well, okay, you activate the card that's -1. It adds a card that's a +1, so it's 0. Then
Shane,
it
the card
draws your
itself is a
cards. It's a
+1. Shane,
+1.
the card itself is a +1.
Yeah.
You draw. How do you draw 2 cards? You
No, you
add
draw-
one
you
and you
draw-
draw 2 cards. I'm
No,
confused
you
about
add
that.
1, you draw 1. Sorry, so it is
Okay.
a +1. So you're now going +2 every turn with your normal draw, of course.
Okay.
In addition to usually
If you
using
don't, if the
Hayate,
card doesn't
Sen,
get hit,
Kagari,
if the
add
card
back.
doesn't get hit by interaction, which in this
Yeah.
game, tons of interaction, like lots
Yeah,
of interaction.
Yeah. But a lot of that interaction is geared at monster effects. Yeah, you can Ash it, but that's all you can do, isn't it?
You can imperm it. You can.
You cannot imperm in. Oh, if you have imperm set, sure.
Oh, engage? No, you hit
Yeah.
the Kagari with an imperm. You hit the Shizuku
Oh,
or
yeah.
the Hayate before it attacks. You can interact. So the thing with Hayate is you can't let it get its direct attack off because then its effect is uninteractable unless something specifies it can be done in the damage step. If you imperm it at start of battle phase or end of main phase 1, that card cannot put engage in the graveyard. You imperm the Kagari anytime. You Ash the Kagari anytime. You do anything to
You Ash
You just-
Kagari.
You cannot.
or not Ash Kagari. Any interaction.
But I'm just saying, like, Striker, a lot of the cards, they're really weird to interact with. Because, let's say in the case of Hayate and Kagari, Ash is the most used hand trap. You can't Ash either of those. Because it does essentially add from deck to hand. But Hayate first sends it, and then Kagari brings it back. Which I guess you could Ghost Spell the Kagari.
But no one's playing Ghost Spell.
Yeah.
But now they might need to because we're having a format shift, which is healthy and good for
Which
the
is
game
another
to
thing.
have-
When we're done, let's talk about which we're pretty much done. All we have to do is talk about Symbol of Heritage and Double Iris, right?
Which both those cards don't do anything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we can
we
just
talked
knock
about it.
those
There we
out of
go.
the
We
way.
talked about
Yeah.
it. That's it.
They Double
This is-
Iris is
this-
cool for Pendulum.
This
but
what
eh,
we're talking about right now is the black sheep of
Yeah.
the list.
So yeah, so we got through the entire list. But let's still talk about Engage, but let's try to. We started going into like how it's going to impact the meta, and I think this is a perfect time to try to talk about what you guys think the meta is going to shape up to be.
Well, I want to hear
Uh,
you finish off on Engage. You haven't really finished why you think it's like the Doomsday card.
I don't see that's what I'm saying though. It's not the Doomsday card.
It's just
it's
unfun
not-
to play against.
It's not. Yes, but it's not as powerful as people are putting it out to be. But it's not a weak card, and it's not going to be like people are people are overreacting, but it's not going to be a non-issue. Sky Striker is still going to be a very, very strong deck. It's essentially like 5 times as more relevant and powerful than it was previously, I feel.
Ahmed,
Which it was like barely rogue.
I want to get your take on something. This was a conversation Shane and I had last night. Do you think a tier 2 deck, a deck that is not topping as much as like tier 1, like Dragon Link, Tribrigade, stuff like that, do you think a tier 2 deck can be problematic and like need a hit?
That's a really good question.
It's running problematic cards, is all I'm saying.
I want to hear Ahmed's take on this before.
Oh, okay,
before
now I know where this is geared because I was just thinking about this generically. Now I'm like, okay, now I know what they're asking.
God damn it, Shane.
I usually liken it to like Teemo in League of Legends. Like if any of our viewers play League of Legends, feel free to unsubscribe right now. We don't respect you. But I liken it to Teemo. Like Teemo's just like a meme pick. No one actually like plays Teemo competitively. No one does. But it's not fun to play against. I don't think Teemo has received a buff or a nerf in like years. At least when I played, he like never got touched. Teemo never, ever got touched.
Yeah, I was gonna say that prefacing this is me being the only person in this podcast who still regularly plays League of Legends. Ahmed, you just watch it, right?
Yeah, I watch it, but I mean, I played a lot, like years and years ago.
You did.
Yeah, you were a big League player.
I was a plat player. Thanks, Zane. Anyway, but yeah, so trying to answer the question, it's hard because usually Konami goes based off of player opinions. Haha, just kidding. And also tournament results, and also what they think, and also like preemptive.
Yeah, but what about this list?
That's what I'm thinking. Unfortunately, it's not like black and white. I want to give a black and white answer, but I'm thinking about. How do I want to say this? If it's affecting most of the player base in a really negative way, and like, let's say it's a really easy deck to pick up, really easy to play, really easy to pay for, etc., and like a lot of people are playing it and just are frustrated and they just hate it, then yeah, I think it would be worth hitting. I absolutely think it would be worth hitting. But if it's just like a couple people are playing it and it's not the best deck, and if it's not the best deck, not like a ton of people are going to be playing it. At least at a competitive level. Like on a local level, who knows? People play fucking what is it called? Muka number 3 2 turbo or whatever. Right? They play like Yomi ship. Like I don't know. Fucking Black Wings, I don't know. But
Simo?
2021 Black Wings. Ooh.
Shame.
Hey,
No,
get a little saucy out here.
No. What you just said though is essentially you just said all the parts of my argument and then all the parts of Justin's argument and just like your answer.
Yeah. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and say no, absolutely not, because I don't think the cap of a deck, like the absolute peak cap of a deck, should be what you hit based off of. Because so Team Sam, bless his soul, love him. He uploaded that one video of like, oh, Sky Striker being getting engaged is a mistake.
Thank you for talking about this.
I was like, dude, you showed the most unbelievable hand.
Not only that,
I'm gonna
he
talk
showed.
about DDs.
I just want to point this out. He showed something that Striker could already do without engage.
Yeah.
Striker players like me have been sitting under mine and passing with Hayate for months since engage went to 0. We have been sitting under that fucking card. It's not. That's not the problem. That's not the problem.
I'm gonna talk about DDDs here because they put up some insane boards. DDDs put up wild boards, but only when they can. Only when they can. So I'm gonna go ahead and say no. I don't think that like that tier 2 like unless a tier 2 deck is like crazy problematic, which in that case it's not a tier 2 deck.
Exactly.
Should be hit. Yeah. If it like ends up being like a tier 1 deck, and
Shane,
hits it,
before you go into this, I want to just liken this to another conversation we had last night. When Shane called me some very choice words.
I did not call you anything.
He likened me to some very choice individuals. I
was not there for this.
I'm not going to out this right now, but Shane was talking about how he thinks mine needs to be banned, and I said, well, mine doesn't really have the results. Mine is not topping every YCS, and it's not tier 1. It just isn't. It's not fun to play against, but if it was like broken, overpowered, people would be playing it. People play to win. They don't play to have fun. The top players are not like the top players. I'm serious. In competitive anything, people play what works.
The top players, but
you want people to have
people
fun.
Going to certain events aren't all like you cannot tell me that if I go to a regional. Because I don't know how to phrase this. I'm not a top player.
Most of the time at a regional, top players are going to be topping.
Well, yeah, of course, that's what makes them top players. But not everyone who goes to a regional. I guess because they drew the out, but that's the thing. Mine just is a degenerate card that encourages degenerate board states and degenerate play. I don't know. In the community has been calling for it to be banned. It's unfun to play against. The only people who like to play it are sadistic fucks.
No, hold on, hold
I
on,
don't
hold
like.
on,
I
hold
don't
on,
like
hold on,
that. That's
hold on.
rough.
So we're talking about mine as a deck. I don't think people want mine as a deck banned. Mine as a deck is horrible. Mine as a deck is really, really bad. The reason people want it banned is because, so as Shane said, it does force like really shitty game states and really shitty board states. And
Well, I was
it's just not fun to play
about
around.
like the deck
Hold on,
and
hold
what
on.
you're
I'm not
about
done.
to say.
I'm not done. It forces certain types of gameplay, right? So people don't play mine as a deck. People play it as a forced negate. People play it as a forced negate. If you do not negate this or have an out, I just win. Sometimes it's just an I win button. Like if I end on, okay, I'm gonna look at I don't know, Virtual World. Ha ha ha. Good deck. Just kidding. They end on like Shen Crystal Wing. That's like their peak right now, right? That's what they do. Monster negate and then macro one-sided or just macrocosmos, right? I activate Mystic Mine. Oh, I mean, I guess they have Chuche, but let's say like whatever. They don't have access to it for some point. This is probably not an amazing example, but I'm still gonna go with it. They just hard lose. They just hard lose. They just hard lose to it because it's like, do you have something that can remove this card? Yes. Cool. Take it off the field. If you do not, I win. That's why people want it banned, because they don't want it banned for the deck. The deck is just like a dumb burn strategy. Shout out to Jeff Leonard though.
Jeff Leonard's a legend. So I want to say the only reason I bring that up is because I want to call out the fallacy of ban card because of theory that it could be broken, but also it isn't putting out those results yet.
What about ban card because the player base hates it?
I don't think that's a great way to run a ban list, in my opinion. I think that
Well,
kills a lot of competitive spirit.
How about running a business though?
Whoa.
I'm just saying, if
Oh,
you're not
it's
appealing to the
I thought you
player
were talking
base.
about like a ma and pa like shop and like.
No. I'm just saying, like,
I was like, what?
if Konami does not try to appeal to the player base, they're going to lose their player base, which is already shrinking.
It's not shrink.
That's the thing. I don't know that I've seen like proof that it's shrinking.
Okay, it's maybe it's not shrinking, but it's sure in the hell ain't growing
it's
too
not
much.
growing
But
very
also,
fast.
right now it's not growing because we just had a pandemic where nobody could play anything at all.
Well, that was the meme
because
before the pandemic. Before the pandemic too, Yu-Gi-Oh's like the slowest growing out of all the card
it was
games.
not. That's not true. That's not true. No. Before the pandemic, the player base was the biggest it's ever been.
yeah, like
that's
things
not
were
true.
going off. Like, I mean, and you even look at like Yu-Gi-Oh content creators right now. More people are watching Yu-Gi-Oh content creators than probably ever before.
Yeah. I think YCS Utrecht or London. I forgot. One of the YCSs had like one of the highest player base attendings of any YCS in history.
Well, even then, like, if the player base is growing, what's gonna happen if they do, like, a new player comes up against a mine deck? I know my first time playing against a mine. I remember my first time playing against mine. I just remember. And this is that degenerate play that I was talking about. It encourages degenerate play on DB. Do you guys remember when
that one guy,
I simply held that guy hostage for over an hour because he was playing mine?
Yeah.
He silent wobbied me, and then like we kept forgetting about it. And then during my end phase, he's like, "Oh, silent wobby, discard the hand size." I was like, "Oh, okay, still end phase. I'm just gonna activate 2 Cosmic." He's like, "No, you have to discard them." Anyways, we stayed in a judge call for like almost 2 hours, and that's the kind of play it encourages.
That's a little bit of a stretch for me. I wouldn't
Okay,
say
that's
that
just
it
one case, and
encourages you. I wouldn't say playing mine encourages you to sit in a judge call on DB to prove a point.
Yeah, Shane, you could've left it
Yeah, you could have left
I told
it.
you to leave. I told you
Like,
to leave.
I'm glad you didn't, because it led to some of the funniest moments for me. But I don't think that was because of mine. I think that was because of your pride to not want to just give up the game.
Okay, let's go back to the original question, which was, what do we think the best decks of this format are gonna be?
Yeah.
let's go back to that. Um,
So I
let's
think
see.
in agreement at the very top, we can at least say Drytron Tri-Brigade.
Invoke Dogmatica Shaddoll is probably gonna be up there as well.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying too. Like people are saying it's not going to be as good, but no, nothing on it got hit, so it's
No,
absolutely
it's
going to
just
stay.
such a good engine.
I hate
Yeah.
the Yu-Gi-Oh community for that reason. Like, nothing got hit, and they're like, "Yeah, this deck's really fallen off. It's not
Well, that's
playable
not
anymore."
see, that's the well, it's not necessarily not playable.
The
I'm just
Deer's
saying,
at 3, unplayable.
yeah, but like sometimes decks are just good because of the matchup of matchups to the current best decks. Thing is IDS is just good straight up.
It's
It's
just
got three. It's just a deck made of 3 engines that go really really well together.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's like Eldritch. Like, it's not broken, but it's still really consistent at getting its interactions out when it needs to, how it needs to. So yeah, I think those two will be really good. I honestly think we'll see what's it called? Salamangrates come back and hit a pretty high.
I actually think Salamangrate have a very good shot of becoming like the top tier 2 deck.
Oh yeah, it's gonna like the highest I would give it is tier 2 because
Yeah, I'm not saying it would be tier 1 at all.
It's gonna be the boss to the tier 2 stage. That if you can beat Salamangrate, you can beat the tier 1 decks. But if you can't beat Salad, you can't do anything this format.
But I'm trying to think here. I don't think Dragon Link will be anywhere near the top.
I think Dragon Link will still be a tier 2 deck.
I think it'll be tier 2.
I think it'll be pretty mid tier 2, but it'll be tier 2 nonetheless.
So are we in agreement then that Tri-Brigade and IDS are the only tier 1 decks that we know
I say
of right now?
Drytron.
Drytron will probably be.
Or that's what I meant.
Drytron, I think honestly might be the best deck in the format right now, as it stands. They also didn't get hit. They put up nutty boards going first, and they can definitely break your board with their tribal rituals going second. Yeah, I just think it is going to be the best deck in the format, but it's also pretty easy to stop too.
So
Hello?
we've got yeah. I couldn't tell if you were gonna say more.
Well, thank you for at least giving me pausing. So if I did, I appreciate that. All right, I'll stop.
But I think that's it for tier 1. Yeah, tier 2 is looking like Dragon Link. It's looking like Salads. I think Striker will peak tier 2. I don't think it will be the end all like tier 1, tier 0, run engage 6 times in 1 turn deck that people think it's going to be. I think it will be tier 2. It'll have good it'll be a good gatekeeper deck, but it'll just lose to a lot of the top tier decks.
Oh wait, we forgot a tier 1 deck.
Which one?
Altergeist for 3 days.
Okay, yeah. The first event, Geist or Guru is going to like Geist and Guru are going to just like be like 40% of the top, and then we'll never see them again.
It's so weird.
Every single fucking new format.
Every fucking ban list. You get there's 3 control decks that just like dominate. It's Guru, Invoked variants, and then the Geist. And then after the format starts getting solved, it's like, all right, bye guys. Thanks for showing up.
It's
because they're like the intermission show. It's like when you're at a play, and then like
it's like the Monty Python or the Holy Grail, where it's just like an intermission right in the middle of the goddamn movie.
So like Geist and Guru are really good at sinking really good hard counter decks that are like, oh, you're gonna play a lot of like Exceeds and Synchros. Well, we'll play a Dimensional Barrier and you Fragrance and Imperial Order like cards and cut you out. And then people start realizing like, oh, there's more to the format than just resolving like those just falter. They can beat the like again, they still have Misk. They just can't fucking Alistair you
Yeah.
anymore.
Do you guys think
Yeah, probably.
Zoo in any capacity could still?
No, without Dryden, the deck will go back.
Well-
We're looking at Spiral flashbacks here. Like,
Yeah, where they go
without the-
Mega Cops Pass, which is still not horrible to some extent.
For your
it's
deck, yeah.
just like towers. Like, I think
Um,
towers isn't good enough anymore unless it has a negate.
ooh,
Just say
some
it, Shane. Just say it, Shane.
Wait, what now? What did you say? Apocalyphort Towers, you said?
No, I said
No.
ending on a towers isn't good enough anymore unless it has a negate.
Yeah, and the way to boost its stats.
Yep.
So
By
I
negating.
will say I'm interested to see how many Dragoon tops we see coming up.
At the beginning of the format, probably quite a bit.
Quite a bit. So I want to make this prediction right now that Dragoon is identical to the Geist Guru control strange occurrence, in that at the beginning of the format everybody's playing Dragoon and it weans off, and then only the like decks that are struggling to keep up with the top decks are going to be playing it. That's just a prediction, I think, because
That's a fair prediction.
I think Dragoon is not a good win con to build your deck around, but it's a good like backup win con, and that's gonna fall to the wayside once we see decks get more or figure out their consistency and actually get what they want, and then they don't have to end on Dragoon. Trying to think. Do we think anything else is gonna hit the tier 2 status, or
I'm trying to think
It's
right
just
now.
hard. It's really hard theorizing
Like-
anything outside of tier 1 because outside of tier 1 it's just so muddled and
Yeah.
it could be anything. It legit could be anything.
Well, I think tier 2 is pretty clear cut at this. Like I think it's just all the decks that we had mentioned above, or not above, but you know, before. And I don't think any other deck really.
do we think we're gonna see Eldritch be relevant
Oh,
still?
Eldritch. I
Ooh,
think
it
Eldritch is
could.
still
I
gonna
think
be
Eldritch
relevant.
variants could be.
Yeah, I would say
yeah.
Eldritch and Eldritch variants are probably still in the tier 2 thing because they are still
Yeah.
incredibly strong.
Yeah.
I'm still sitting on Eldritch Striker because I love it. So
Would you ever go to Pure Striker? Again?
yes, absolutely. Now that I have Engage, Pure Striker is. Now that I have Engage and 3 Kagari, Pure Striker is very, very
Yeah,
playable.
the thing is, Pure Striker is just going to be war crimes. You're going to have a
I'm
ton
gonna
of
play a
hand
lot of
traps.
hand traps, and I'm sorry, Shane, have to play things like Tikaboo and Summon Limit because they're in the game.
Ooh, that's another thing we didn't touch on. Our floodgate discussion, but we can talk about that later.
I think we came to an agreement though that floodgates are really good or are fine at 1 because then
Certain floodgates.
I think all floodgates at 1 is fine as long as they're not searchable. Like any of the non-searchable floodgates go to 1 because you don't want people playing 3
So,
copies.
like Royal Oppression and Vanity's Emptiness can come back to 1.
Maybe yes.
Maybe, yeah. Okay, guys. Okay, all right, listeners. Anyone who's still listening right now, I'm gonna out Justin right here. Okay.
Whoa.
Okay. No. Hey, Justin.
Yeah.
Can Max C come back?
I think Max C is a
Stop.
perfectly healthy card, and
Okay,
I'll
there you
die
go,
on that
listeners.
hill. I
There
will
you go,
die on that
listeners.
hill.
No.
There you
Shane
go.
said the OCG was weird because it was different.
Whoa.
I said it. Okay, I didn't say they're weird. I said that their format is weird, implying their format is weird. Yes, they have one Max C, right? Or do they have 2?
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
I can look
Pretty
it up
sure
really
it's at
quick.
3.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's
No, but
completely
see,
unlimited.
that's we were also making an argument about you saying only the duelists or players will only bring the best decks to events.
Yeah,
Not decks they like.
I think people who
If
want to
that is the
win
case,
will bring the decks that win.
everyone should be playing Tri-Brigade. Everyone should be playing Drytron. Everyone should be playing IDS, and if they aren't playing those decks, then they shouldn't be going to events. People bring to
That's
people.
not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying at all.
Well, I'm just saying people will bring the decks that they enjoy to play and that they like
But
to
they
events.
have to. They can't expect to win if they're not playing something that's like.
At least tiered. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Or like considered rogue.
And I'm saying
Um,
the top players, the people who are sponsored by teams who are going to events, they're not going to bring Blue Eyes to a 2021 tournament. They're not going to do it. It
I
doesn't
know.
matter how much they love Blue Eyes and Seto Kaiba, they're going to play Tri Brigade. I'm sorry. They're going to do it.
Yes, absolutely. But people will still. But they're only going to play the deck if they like the deck. They're not going to not play it if they don't like playing the deck.
Do you know how many people hated Striker Orcus but still played it? Do you know how many people on? I think there's a video of Jesse Cotton like groaning as he plays, and saying that like, or as he's showing his deck list and saying like, "Yep, I hate the deck, but it wins."
Still, though, I think the majority of people bring decks that they enjoy playing, and a lot of those decks are, top meta contenders too.
The majority of people can't win YCSs though. That's
I know
impossible
that's
competition.
But that's the difference between the OCG and the TCG formats too. They, in their format, they like certain kinds of decks and they play them. We like certain kind of decks in our format and we play them. At least
Ahmed,
that's
I would like you
yeah.
to get in on this.
What? What do you want me to say?
What's your take? Like, are people playing to win, or are most people just coming in with whatever deck they have and just playing it and not actually, like...
Okay, wait. Question to Ahmed as well.
Yes, my dear.
Okay, we all three go to a regional, okay?
We have.
I'm playing Earth Machine, you're playing your pure Dragoonity, Justin's playing Striker Eldritch. Out of all of us, let's say you are the only one to top the regional, right? You get your YCS invite, right? That's how it works. It goes regional or YCS, yeah.
Well, I mean, you can just go to a YCS.
Oh, you can just straight up compete in a YCS. I thought you had to get invited.
No, there's like invitationals, but you can play at a YCS.
Either way. Let's say you go to a YCS to get your Nats invite, right? Or Worlds invite, whatever the fuck, however the fuck it works.
Yeah. Now you got it.
You bring pure Dragoonity there. Are you going to, or let's say you're not bringing pure Dragoonity there, you haven't decided yet. Are you going to bring the deck that you like, or are you going to play go out and get Tri Brigade?
I'll play the deck I like.
Okay. But are you going to tailor it to the meta and play really good cards? Or are you going to go out and buy like... Exactly.
So, but he's still playing Dragoonity though. He's not playing a top deck in the format because he likes Dragoonity.
Listen.
That's a different argument.
Like, most of the player base is casual. Less of the player base is casual competitive. Like, we sit at the casual competitive. Like, we're playing to win. We're playing in tournaments, usually locals and stuff. But it's still tournaments. We're playing to win. And then even less are like hardcore competitive players. Even hardcore, even less than that. So the players that are like at the tippy top, they can realistically play like almost anything as long as it's tiered, and they can top, seriously. But I don't know. It depends on the player though. A lot of people play this game for different reasons. Like, I play to have fun and also to win. Like, I like taking not the best decks, but like competent decks and playing with them. Hence why I've been playing Dragoonity for 8 years. But it's fun, and I like just like proving to myself and just to myself realistically, like, hey, I can do this. This is fun. I can take this deck that isn't like broken, and I can play it at a decent level. So people play the game for different reasons.
That's what I'm saying. Should Konami tailor the list to the majority casual players who are playing to enjoy the game, or tailor the list to the competitive competitive super minority that are topping with decks?
Well, you're also putting out...
Hold on. Shane, I see where your argument is coming from. However, that argument completely wrecks your argument for Mystic Mind being banned. Like, I agree with your argument about Mystic Mind, but like what you just said does negate. Ooh, I said the N-word.
No, that's My argument, what I'm trying to argue for, is that Konami should appeal to the masses, the casual masses, first and foremost, and then competitive as a side. It's kind of like a not necessarily to the side.
So
Usually,
you
the
want
competitive and casual they coincide too.
so they should release like really broken support for DM, right?
They did. It's
No,
called
like they
Dragoon.
they should make something that like is only playable in Dark Magician like pure, but makes Dark Magician like tier 1. Because a
I'm not
lot
saying
of
they
players
should, but I can
play.
definitely see Konami doing it. And they have been doing it the past couple of years. They've been releasing support every single time. What do you think Magician's Rod and Magician's Soul and
Oh, yeah. Well,
Soul
the
Servants
thing the thing is, all
and the
those
Blue
cards,
Eyes cards, and
all of
then
those
Dragoon,
cards, all of those cards got used in
barring
other
Dragoon.
Yeah,
strategies.
all those cards are better in other decks. So they're not doing a very good job of playing for
Well, they're
or
not. They're
doing for
not. But
casuals
first
at
and
all.
foremost, they design those cards in to have Dark Magician or Blue Eyes or the popular DM stuff in mind.
I don't know.
So
I
I'm just
think
saying, Konami has been doing exactly what you're doing, but they hopefully will not release a card that literally just says if you control Dark Magician, you win the game.
I don't know that we should balance around casual play at all, because casual players are not competitive at all. They're not going to go to events because
But they're
they
the
don't want to
ones that
compete.
spend most of their money.
That's a good point.
I don't know. I don't know if Konami wants only to have a
So
couple
I don't
dozen
want to
people
look at
playing
this
the
from a
game.
business perspective. I don't want to look at this game from a business perspective. I don't care what business decisions they make. I want to look at the game from a metagame standpoint, from a like competitive view. Even
There-
from casual competitive, like
There is you can look at it from a business perspective though, from a competitive perspective as well, because if you have like, let's say, a really like good meta defining set, vendors are going to buy more of that set.
yes. I agree. But what I'm saying is I don't want to say like, oh, we should make all casual decks playable because that's a good business move. Shane, there are a lot of degenerate casual decks. Like a lot of degenerate casual
No, I
decks.
completely agree with you.
But like if you want like casual play to be like the main focus, then those decks are going to get raised up.
I don't know. I don't look at the game at like from a competitive. Don't get me wrong. I do get a little competitive when I'm playing. But first and foremost, I want the game to be enjoyable for as many people as possible.
Yeah.
Barring or versus being more competitively minded.
I don't know. I guess that's kind of a difference because I do have fun with Yu-Gi-Oh, but I have fun because I'm competitive with it. I like strategizing and trying to win. I don't like just playing casually and just losing because like, oh well, I'm playing fucking rescue roids.
Well, the thing is that there's like those kind of decks, like casual, like super casual, like I'm first getting into the game, or I'm playing roids because I really like the deck from GX, to the people who are also then playing stuff like Earth Machine because they like the deck, or playing Dragoonity because
Earth
they like the
Machine's
deck.
super competent.
Yeah, that's what I'm
rogue.
saying. These decks are super
That's
competent.
the casual competitive decks.
Yeah.
Those are the casual rogue decks are essentially the casually competitive decks, because it's
Yeah.
a lot of the rogue players are players who have this pet deck that has legs that they have been working on and labbing for months to be able to just stand up barely to the top meta decks, so that they can take a game or maybe even a match off of them. That's the community I want the Konami to tailor the game for, the casually competitive.
They do.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
I was gonna
saying.
say. I was gonna say.
Oh,
They literally are.
one last thing, actually, the casual competitive and competitive community are essentially the same thing. Both of them are playing like
Yes.
competitively.
Yes.
And
That
I'd
is
say
my
that's
point.
like maybe 40 to 30% of the total player base.
And I think
maybe
that's
less.
what the list should be for. I think
Maybe
that's
less.
who the list should be for. Because again, the actual casual players, they don't even care about the list. They're not gonna look the list up. They're gonna put their favorite cards in a deck and they're gonna play with that. They're not
I
gonna
know, but
go. They're
like,
not gonna go to
fun.
YCSs. They're not gonna go and
It's
participate in
fun.
these community events.
but that's
because
what I'm
they
saying.
don't
Like those
care.
people
fun
at
to play
that
fun
level are
deck.
still wanting to like they
I'm
would still want
playing.
stuff to
I'm
miss the
playing.
brand.
What playing this week? I'm playing Paraplay this week, Shane. I'm playing Magic Key. I'm playing Magis this next week.
Why are you telling me to send Red Eyes Fusion? I'm sending a Predaplant Fusion card.
Anyway,
Shane, I think in a weird way we're both arguing a similar thing.
I think yeah.
I think we're arguing that the game should be like
The game should be
diverse.
fun first and
be.
foremost.
I think it should be diverse more than anything because fun
Diversity
is
is
super,
fun. Diversity is
diversity
fun.
is fun, and fun as a term is super relative to
It's
the individual.
subjective, yeah.
I have fun playing Sky Striker. Shane, if you played Sky Striker, you'd probably hate it. I love it. I adore playing it. I can see why it's not fun to play against, but as a player, that is the most fun strategy for me, is to just have access to all these resources and have this big skill tree of like, oh, I could get Anchor here. Oh, I could get Shark Cannon. Ooh, how could I get to access code with these cards? I don't like your deck. Like, I don't like that. I don't like what your strategy is. I would be really bored playing either of your guys' decks. I would not have fun with it. So, like, it's really hard to say, well, oh, so few people have fun, like, playing Sky Striker, because that's you. That's your perspective. Me and the Sky Striker community love that Engage is back. We are having fun with our deck again. And, like, exactly, like,
I'm with her.
Should never say that again. Never say that again. So yeah, my point is that Konami shouldn't just listen to the loud internet yellers, because those are not always going to have everyone's best interests in mind.
Well, yeah, they're usually reactionary.
Exactly.
I'm
And
not. The thing is, I'm not making an argument to whether or not Engage should be. I'm just saying, like, stuff like okay, we're not gonna spend an hour arguing about mine, but so let's just digress. So we talked about the top meta decks. We're talking about Rogue and stuff like that. Is there anything else we want to talk about? Like particularly anything they might have missed on the list? Anything that you guys would have liked to see come back?
Yeah, go get vaccinated.
Please get vaccinated.
Yeah.
I'm begging you. I want to travel with my friends. And play
You
this video
guys
game.
getting everyone. I'm sure our listeners are very wise, wonderful, beautiful people. But like, your vaccination helps us all get back to events, which is soon.
I'm hoping soon.
Give me 1 second to think if they did miss something.
I think I touched on all the points I wanted to make.
Yeah, I can't see anything on this list that was like glaringly missing, aside from what I thought was going to happen, which is an Eldritch hit. But
I think
happen.
Yeah, depending on how Eldritch does this next format, it might get hit. But like, I don't see.
I don't see a need for it, and I don't want to get. I don't want to get into it because this podcast is already pretty long. But yeah, I don't see anything on the list. I'm really happy with this list. I think this list solved a lot of the frustration with the game, and introduced a little bit of new frustration, but to the reactionary few, who are going to see that Striker cannot get engage every fucking turn, and they can't draw what Team Sam spent 20 minutes in test and clicking and unclicking and clicking and unclicking to get. Yeah.
All right.
Sign us out.
This has been another episode of Table 501. Just want to thank all the viewers who have been listening. We're gonna try to be more regular than every 6 months. So
well, it's only been like 2 or 3 weeks since we did the last one, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind trying to do it bi-weekly. And hey, maybe next time, well, not next time, but maybe soon, TM, we'll have another series or something.
But this is all under wraps. Let's keep this.
Yeah.
I'm Justin.
I'm Shane.
And I'm Mystic Mine.
Every time.
And-
Every time we fuck that up. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Fucking around with your deck. Let's play the game.
Yordalehihu, thank you for the 50. I know all sleeves are taken. This is not going towards one of the other players. It's a good chunk of my firework money for the weekend, please. All right, Danny, you want to use this background?
Sure. What, you want to send it to me? Well, I gotta.
Maybe-
Yordalehihu. I can't.
Maybe
use
we
this
should
fucking
have-
one.
Maybe we should have Gavin open the link. Huh?
Hi, I'm back. Bindi pulled Melody into a lake.
That's not what.
Whoa. I
It's
believe
not
that.
NSFW. Yordalehihu, tell me this is not NSFW. If I scroll down, what am I gonna see? Is it gonna be Yugi's pregnant belly? Is it?
No!
Do you think is it?
Oh my god. This is
Oh
the
my
worst thing. Why would
lord.
you put this in my
It is.
my brain?
It
My
is.
retinas.
They paid, you gotta do it. I was very clear.
Yeah.
The rules
very
did, the rules
clear.
did say